gaming champions, welcome to another industry news video of the week. Earlier this week, we had a chance to hear about Dion going to Gamma, and now we're going to get a chance to hear about a game that Shay is very excited to be coming out. It was announced recently, and obviously a topic that we have talked a lot about. Before we get into that, we'd be remiss to remind you to hit that like, hit the subscribe, comment down below, and check us out on soon-to-be Instagram Reels, TikTok, and, of course, our YouTube Shorts, which are outpacing our normal videos 8,000 to 1. So thank you for that support. We appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So with that said and that out of the way, let's move on to the industry topic for today, and that's going to be the release of a small Microsoft-based game called Mass Effect. Woo! So for those of you who don't know, Mass Effect, of course, is a game all about the ship of Normandy. Now, this is a crew going up to the year of 2186 with, of course, our good friend Commander Shepard. And, of course, he is dealing with the Reapers, who are all about trying to destroy the world, take it over. But Commander Shepard is, of course, in the way of defending that.
Was that your movie voice, like, coming soon, the in 2026? That what you just doing?
It's kind of. I'm trying to lure them in.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Plus 6, I've got a sultry voice, anyways. May as well use it to my advantage.
Hey.
So with that said, we've got Mass Effect, the board game, Priority Hagelaz. It's a cooperative, story-driven game set during the events of the video game Mass Effect 3, which might be a little bit of the topic we talk about today. It's a branching narrative campaign that allows for multiple playthroughs with a different experience every time. It's card-driven AI and evolving stories respond to your actions with your early choices influencing later missions, just like in the game. Gather Shepard's squad from a selection of teammates from the Mass Effect trilogy of Liara, Tali, Rex, and Garrus. Rex, my favorite. Customize and upgrade your squad's abilities, equipment, and powers as they gain experience. Enhance them further by unlocking unique powers with optional loyalty missions. Shay, why don't you go ahead and kick us off? Because I know you're just pining over there.
So you got to understand, I'm a big fan of IP games. Like recent IP games, because they're getting better. The game I loved, Skyrim. Who was the publisher? Morpheus? Right? I said it right? Yeah.
I mean, just saying with confidence. We all believe
Yes.
Except for Modiphius is like, well, that sucks.
Yeah.
Terrible.
But the point is
They could have gone back and redone that one.
They're making this one. So already I am hyped because they did it so well in Skyrim that they literally just got to really paste and print and just make a little update there.
Didn't we play Mass Effect? It was called ISS Vanguard.
Yeah, but I wasn't Captain Shepard.
You're right. You're right.
That's the whole point. It's just because like ISS Vanguard, it was a good story and it is a good game. But just to feel like that was my childhood.
Yeah.
Like that was my first game that I actually played the first, second, and third. Like I don't have that kind of time anymore. Like I dug into Mass Effect. I got into it at 2 because I didn't know about it, but I went back to 1, then replayed 2, and then played 3, and then played Andromeda, which is okay. But I'm just excited, and then
one was arguably one of the best games I remember from being younger.
Yeah.
Because it was one of the few games that I remember caring so much about the lore. Like, I probably had 200 hours in that game, and it was like every time you'd find literature, I would read it. Like, I wanted to know more, all about the different races and the species and the internal conflicts. Like, I don't know what it was, but something about that game just caught me and sucked me in. And I mean, I remember being in different not spaceships, but the big, where you would dock. Yeah, Citadel. And I just remember going room to room and just like talking to everybody. And it blew me away how in depth the writing was with that. But
I liked and I even asked them if they were going to add this in the game, and they said that they believe there's something like that within the game while I was at Gamma. And I really liked the decisions I make, whether I'm good or bad.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of loved that. And that was like one of the first games that pitch the fact that the story, you can go through and just be a total douchebag the entire game, and it will change how people interact with you.
Are there love stories?
In the game, I have no clue, but I know that I was more concerned, less like you, more concerned about love stories. I was more concerned about whether the decisions you make will change the gameplay, and I really hope they do that in this one. But I was excited about that element. I also got to see some of the like modeled pieces while I was there at Gamma at the Asmodee booth. They weren't supposed to show me much, but they showed me the box, which I was really excited about. And I was like, oh, I just can't wait to get my hands on this one. And luckily, it is going to be distributed by Asmodee, which means I can get my hands on it, which I'm really excited about as well.
Is it going through Kickstarter?
I don't know if they're going to start there or not. I'm assuming everybody does. And by talking at Gamma, a lot of people are doing it because they can't get their game shown anywhere. And so it becomes a place to advertise. And when you release something, it gets popped on, everybody's like, have you seen blah, blah? And then BGG blows up. And that's how they get their, that's like going viral in their world, right? So, I'm a big fan. I can't wait to see what I haven't read a whole lot on what they're doing. And I asked some pretty important questions on what they are doing. And they couldn't really tell me a whole lot.
That's fair.
Shay, what got you excited about this? In the board game specifically, obviously you've already shared about.
So again, it's because the people who make Skyrim is making this game. The second thing is the designers. I haven't played Dune Imperium, so I know that game is good. And the gentleman who did that, that's hype. Eric freaking Lang is doing this. Take my money. Take it. Look, I know you're supposed to have this money. Tax hasn't come out yet, but take it. Like it's
Take it out before it's gone. That's not else.
Because you know how I feel about Bloodborne. You know how I feel about Blood Rage. Y'all know how I feel about his games. And the fact that I seen his name, I'm like, first is the company, then is the I'm ready. Like you sign me up. Like I won't back Kickstarter, but I will back retail. What was interesting to me is they didn't really announce it on their blog that they were going to do a Kickstarter, but they did say they were going to drop it in Q3 or 4. And so that makes me think that it's just going to go to distributors first. It's not going to hit a Kickstarter. But I don't know. But I do know no matter what happens, I'm getting my hands on that.
Well, because I feel like Asmodee is like one of those companies that doesn't need to.
I agree.
Let me look at Star Wars Unlimited, right? Like they didn't need to do that, even though they could have and made $20 million through Kickstarter. But I think a lot of their titles, especially through a lot of their big companies like FFG, it's like they're not doing Kickstarter with that. So I think it's very possible.
Did with Skyrim though. I think Skyrim was.
Was it that Skyrim? Because I know there's also Elder Sign.
I did Elder Scrolls. Yeah, I did that.
Elder Scrolls is chip theory games.
Right.
Yes.
I don't know.
It's a whole other different company.
I don't.
Skyrim, the game that came out last year, that did go through Kickstarter because I backed it on Kickstarter because I was an Elder Scroll fan going back to literally Elder Scrolls Arena, the first one that came out on PC. But I think for me the big thing is EA's not attached to this, so I have hope because they've ruined enough in their lives.
Legit, I didn't even think about that. What the hell? I'm more excited.
But
I didn't make it better.
Eric Lang is probably one of my favorite designers as well. He's at least in my top 5.
Yeah.
And the fact that his name is on it is important to me because I know he's going to take the care and love that it needs to make it a good game. And secondly, he's played with IPs before, like Godfather, and I actually liked Godfather. A lot of people pooped on it. I thought it was a good game. My little concern with that is he does really well of territorial control, but making it a different type of territorial control. Because I'm a little concerned. I don't think it will be like that because it's a cooperative game.
Yeah, right.
So I do feel
he also made the Bloodborne card game too.
Yeah,
so he has made games that are, and he also did Bloodborne. Yeah, which that was also a story based. So
and I didn't care for Bloodborne. Yeah,
but
yeah.
And I feel like this is the kind of game that's going to have to. We were joking, I think, before we filmed this about ISS Vanguard, and I think that the problem with Mass Effect is that you have to have the element of the space travel, the space battles, but then you also, so much of that game is about getting on the planet and fighting and battling planets.
Yeah.
I feel like you're going to have several different types of important mechanics, and then the third mechanic is going to have to be obviously the storytelling and the campaign part of
But
it.
how, like, so you go to a great designer like Eric Ling, and I consider him a really good designer, and and not including the other gentleman that's doing it as well.
Calvin Wong.
Kevin Wong, yeah, who also
Toby Wong,
yeah.
Wong.
And you give them a historical amount of, like, there's 4 games technically on
Lore
this.
out the wazoo.
You've got lore, you've got characters, you've got different type of, so you don't have to design a lot of, like, create this world because it's already created, which is great.
Right.
So then you could just focus on the board game elements and how to bring it in. So I think they already have a good jump start on the title already. And I'm excited because I'm a huge Mass Effect fan, but I'm also concerned. I'm not going to be, I'm not over here like take my money. I'm more like I'll wait and see and maybe use my money on it, but I will definitely have a copy here in the store, and I will definitely because Asmodee is amazing when it comes to demo products, and I will also have a copy here to play. So
Great. Yeah. Well, with that said, definitely make sure you keep up to date. And if you want to learn more about Mass Effect as it gets closer, make sure you're following us at Champions of Tabletop. And with that said, gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and wrap up today. This has been Champions of Tabletop talking about Mass Effect. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and follow us on TikTok and Instagram and all the others, especially TikTok before it goes away forever.
ring the bell.
Ring the bell.
Ring the bell.
I am doing the
I'm sorry.
bell.
I'm sorry. I'm an old man. I go outside and yell at clouds just for on Tuesday. So with that said, never forget, champions never stop playing.